Okay, welcome everybody, and going to keep it nice and short and sweet tonight. So we're looking at the dollar index. Um, Mr. Trump's election has pushed the dollar further right into this year's resistance, at the same time as the US indices. So everybody is very happy right at this point. So we are making new highs. This is Dow daily chart. No reason to sell this market. So we saw a dip in the run up to the election, and literally, as the polls closed, this just burst up and has not um, settled down at all. Even though it's Veterans Day, we've not seen this market sit back. It's continued higher as well. Could look at the Nasdaq and the FTSE because I really want to rattle through this tonight. So that's the Nasdaq. Nasdaq has settled back a little bit, but only to be expected as the US is enjoying a bank holiday. And FTSE, let's go straight to the FTSE. Okay, so this is a very range-bound FTSE, and typical with range-bound markets, it's found its feet low down at the bottom, at the base of the range, and is trying to bounce. So we've been shuffling around in this really since April. A little bit higher here in May, a little bit lower here in August, and then back to this mean average. Okay, so all the time the market's doing that. In some respects, trading, if you particularly trading on leverage, trading a range bound market can be more profitable than trying to pick up on trends normally. But yeah, so if you're buying the low, in other words, buy the lows, sell the highs, buy the lows, trade the range. If this dip here is the end of this range and we subsequently close above 83, 8400, then expect that to go to 85 and 86 plus 100. UK jobs, I think it's tomorrow. Quiet week overall, with US not around today and not a lot of data at the moment. In the meantime, with that strong dollar, we've got gold pulling right back. So on this daily chart, where's that taken from? Let's update this. So we've got a gap here on the gold, 1830. So what's to say that that isn't going to get filled? Tell you what, let's fib that to the gap. I think that's probably where I had it before. So we look as if we're going to see 25.67 at the moment. That is not happy and looks lower. Put the 50-day average on there. And we're under the 50-day average now. So we held it last week. Now we are under it. So that is potentially shortable around about 26.50 if you want to short that. Oil is the same. So if you're in oil stocks, be careful because this push higher last week has just got sold into. That looked, I predicted that was going to climb towards 75, and here we are at 68. So that close on Friday was a decent clue, and now we've got follow through, even though the US is not at its desks. So if you're not, we'll have a quick look at oil stocks, but that is not good. Let's get into stocks. Let's look at our key bellwethers that we've been following recently anyway. So I called this in the room. I suggested that 130 was a good pullback. Currently 140. If we So we had a big push up here on the 12th of August. So we just boomerang right back to the foot of that. So if we hold this and start closing above 145, we should go and see 150 plus. Quite often in bullish consolidation, you get a big dip. We had a higher close on Friday. Let's see if you want to engage this. I would hold out for 135 with a stop under 130. Otherwise, steer clear. If you're in it and you have a long-term view about 150 plus, then well, if you should still be in it. Keep your stop out of trouble, and then sit there and see if that can work. Um, we've got, let's go to the others. Let me call up things like tallow. We just talked about oils. Let's look at tallow. It's really struggling. I'm not in this, but I did suggest you might want to get in this. Looked all right last back end of the month. Ever since we come into November, this is just not held, and you can see the 50-day average is red, and they've used it to sell against, and we're right back to where we picked up from in October, 1st October. So with a weak oil, um, if you're in it and still in it, be careful, because if this goes under 20, that is going to see 18 and possibly lower. Volume confirms when we were picking up here in late October, volumes were beginning to look shabby anyway. So there was clue there. Prudential, well, it looked all right into Thursday last week, and they pulled it right back. So if we now close under that 635, this is lower. I'm actually in this, but it's on probation. That is definitely on probation. I need to think about getting out if that does not hold. Right, let's go through a few others. You guys were talking about MSTR. Wow, what is going on with this? That's just an amazing chart. So a lot of red here mid-October, picked up into the end of the month, dipped into early November, and wow, we are just, that's incredible. What's the story behind it, Andy? Because you posted that one. That was your suggestion. So ever since we picked up from mid-September, that is has not held back. And we are seeing increased volumes even now. Do you want to get in that now? Well, I hate buying high, and that is very, very high. But I have to say that's an incredible chart. Uh, Cousins PZC is not doing it for my money. Volumes are just about okay. If we get a close above, if we open and close above this 80, then yeah, I would get interested, but I'm not interested in there at the moment. Story on DLG, Direct Line. They've been announcing job cuts. I think it's today. Well, certainly they've announced job cuts, full stop. So that is breaking down as well. So be very careful. That looks as if that's coming into 150 now. Look at the volume again. Volume, the clue was right in the volume. Volumes are pathetic. Even when it was trying to close above 180, they were pathetic. So that's your clue. That's what you should be looking out for. Let's go back to oil stocks. Sorry, I'm jumping around, aren't I? Yeah, BP is looking unhappy, as is Shell. So these are all pulling back. That's only pull back to 50-day average, but be careful. Vodafone. This as I think that their merger with Three has been approved, hasn't it? I should know that. But that looks all right. If that can hold up above 75, then that's got a chance of pinging up. Volumes are improving. So that's the kind of stock you want to be in. And let's flick through a few more. CPI, Capita Group, yuck. I took profits at 20 and got out, and here we are pulling right. We look as if we're heading back to the August 15. Again, volume's pathetic. Volumes looked okay. The price didn't, and that's pulling right back. IQE, leave alone, as per last suggestion. Elementis, chemicals group. Um, I'm not in this because I'm bidding on 130 and it's 136. It looks like you're going to need to bid at least 132 on that. Volumes are not great. So if you're in that, don't give it too much room. Because if we break this 127, that's lower. Anything you want to look at? Like I said, I'm going to keep this nice and short. What else do I want to look at? Yeah, here's one. Let me show you the. Let's look at Chemring before I go. Tullow, we just looked at Tullow. I'll send you the link to the Tullow looks lower. I've gone through that. If you're in the Telegram room, I'll send you the video so you can watch what I said on um, you can watch what I said on Tullow. But Tullow is oil is very weak and Tullow is following. So if you're in that, you need to manage that risk. But I like Elementis. I do to stay in that or to I would need to see more volume. Uh, because the volume is not picking up with this uptick, so be careful. Um, Anything else you want me to look at? But, all right, this is the one I'm interested in, and it is gone off my list. Okay, let's look at this one first. This is Spectris. It's had a good run, and the volume has picked up. I'm gonna look to get in at just under 25. 26.36. If that pops back to the low end of that range and holds on volume, then I'm going to get into Spectris. And the other one is Hiscox. So these guys, obviously insurance companies with exposure to recent storms, you've got to be cautious on. But that was a major support down there at 10.15 and it held, and the volume has picked up. So if I'm able to get in there about 10.35 with a stop under that 10.15, I would like to take a bite. Last I checked on Capita in the summer, I think it was the chair was buying 10 million worth of stock. I've not looked at Capita recently. Capita I've covered as well. That Capita looks lower at this stage. So let's see what the jobs number is and how the market reacts to UK jobs tomorrow. Because you need to just be careful with the markets out there at the moment. A lot of volatility. There's this incredible um, reaction to the US markets with Mr. Trump getting in. Is it sustainable? In fact, let's stick to the Dow a second to go back to what Dow's doing. Yeah, if that Dow were to come back under 44 and significantly under 44, then I would start shorting because if that rejects, comes out of the range and pops back in the range, with a decent low close, then I would take that. I would see that as being very bearish. So the US is off today. I'm be interested to see where we close tomorrow. If we can hold above this channel, then this has got further to go. Where could it go? Um, I would suggest next stop is 44.7 or 45, and potentially 47 is up there on an extension of this range. But if any time soon we close under that 43, or certainly 44, and then another further change under close under 43,300, get out or short, okay, because it's lost its grip. Always a little bit alarmed. I will always, let's say, cautious on markets that flip up and then don't see any continuation, don't see any confirmation. And this flipped up straight after the close on Tuesday. And a lot of this move has been outside of the normal trading hours, which always makes me very suspicious. But no reason to sell, no reason to be bearish. Um, if this is going to sustain these levels, then we need to buy pullbacks and potentially trade that into 45 plus. Who knows? May even go in 550. Otherwise, be on guard for any short signals. Look what happened here. If I take you back to this market here, again, this is can happen with any market, but on the 18th of July, we saw a significant lower close. It dipped back into 39,750, pulled back into the same drop zone, and then did another drop down to 38,400. So that's the sort of behavior you need to watch out for. Because if this does lose its footing, I think that will retreat quite quickly. However, that's a very bullish move. All right, I'm going to leave it there. No other questions coming in, so I will post the recording in that Telegram room. And let's have a quick look at. We've been looking at the pound yen a lot this year. Um, you know key jobs number tomorrow, but assuming the jobs number, the market likes the jobs number or responds positively to the jobs number, this could go much higher. Any close under, this is the pound yen, sorry. Any close under 197, that's going to pull potentially right back to the late summer lows. But at the moment, this all looks as if this could push right back into 24 highs. Brilliant. All right, thanks for your company. Thanks a lot, and stay tuned, and I will update you if I see anything as the week unfolds. Stay safe. Thanks, guys.